Now, let us give good news, and we like to give good news, and there's plenty of it. The negative side, to start things off and put the picture in place, is that each year over 250 tonnes of rubbish is removed from the Forest of Dean. 250 tonnes of rubbish, none of which, of course, needs to have been there. So it's a needless thing, and it's also costing local taxpayers £450,000 a year to clean up. Again, a needless bill. But how's this for an incentive for recycling? A machine that gives you a reward when you drop off your bottles and cans. It's like going back to Tizer and Corona bottles, 10p back. But it's all got a bit more high-tech than that. That is exactly what you will get then, is a reward if you use 2 new recycle reward machines in the area. The machines have been installed at the Mid-Counties Co-op, Colford Food Store and the Dean Heritage Centre by environmental charity Hubbub and Partners. It's part of the Love Your Forest campaign to reduce litter and to boost recycling in the area. So how do you get a prize in return for your efforts? Lots to talk about with Gavin Ellis, who's the director of Hubbub, Councillor Sid Phelps from the Forest of Dean District Council, and Michelle Norman, who's from Suntory Beverage and Food, GB&I. So hello all and good morning to you. Gavin, let's start with you then. How does it work?
Good morning. So the way it works is it's really simple. If you've got a can or plastic bottle that's empty and needs recycling, you can pop into one of those venues that you mentioned just now. You just pop your bottle or can into the machine. It prints out a voucher which you can then redeem for various different rewards. So the prizes are things like Forest of Dean lottery ticket, merchandise, so things like cotton tote bags, wind-up torches, reusable water bottles. So there's various different prizes that you can redeem for these vouchers.
What do they look like? They just give me an idea so that I could imagine and picture it in my head.
So they're roughly about 2 meters tall, sort of rectangular. They're quite brightly designed, got quite kind of distinctive, bold, brightly designed frontage, and then they've got a little display screen and a little slot where you pop the packaging in.
And it's as simple as that. Now, I go back and there's a lot of people who will remember when you used to get your 10p back on your glass bottle, on your Corona or something, when and you'd actually go physically, you'd be very proactive. It made you, as a kid particularly, you'd be looking in hedges or behind garages or something to see if you could find some more bottles, raise a bit more money. So we've had that background to being rewarded for recycling, and somewhere along the line, we lost that. And I wonder, Councillor Sid Phelps, if I can bring you in at this point, it seems like an obvious win, doesn't it?
Hi, Anna. Yeah, of course, there's nothing new under heaven, and as you say, I'm of the same sort of age that, we were definitely incentivized to go and collect those Corona bottles and take them in for a couple of pence. But, during the 80s and 90s, it was felt that it was much easier just to chuck it away, bury it, forget about it. And in these environmentally more conscious times, we're starting to relearn that we can't just do that. The planet's struggling, we're suffering, and meanwhile, there's a blight on our countryside with all this stuff being thrown around. So, we've got to think of new ways to try and get the other things to happen, which is, start recycling a bit and reusing a bit more.
Yeah, and having fun doing it, which I think is quite a key part as well, because then people are even more motivated to get involved. I'm trying to sort of picture what 250 tonnes of rubbish looks like. The fact that it costs £450,000 a year to take rubbish like this away from the Forest of Dean suggests that is quite a mound. How big a deal is this on an annual basis then?
Well, I don't want to get political. We got ever increasing strains on our budgets at the council, and who wants to spend nearly £500,000 on dealing with something that could have been dealt with, if people had been a bit more thoughtful. This whole new project is a way to try and get people, part of the Love Your Forest campaign, to try and get people thinking a little bit more about throwing their rubbish away, taking it home, and now we're moving one step on to try and get them to recycle it. So, it's a big deal. Nobody wants to waste money, certainly not the council and none of our taxpayers. And hopefully we can get the public thinking in a different way about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You know, there are bills that you've got to pay when council, you know, whether you're at the council sorting it out or the taxpayers at the end paying it. But this is completely needless, isn't it? If nobody threw this rubbish down, we wouldn't be in this situation and you wouldn't be looking at £450,000 a year to clean it up.
Absolutely. And let's not forget, the forest is a beautiful place. And it's not just the commercial aspect of it or the tourism. You know, we who live here love the place. And mainly it's thoughtlessness. People just do it. You know, they don't think, they throw it on the side. The good news is there's an ever increasing amount of people that want to get involved directly and litter pick and help clean it up on those fronts as well. So yes, you know, it's all part of the, you know, educating the public in a you know, in the nicest possible sense. And so, you know, that £450,000 we could spend on something much more socially useful than clearing up after people.
Yeah, yeah. Michelle, let's bring you at this point. Hello, good morning. Michelle Norman is from Suntory Beverage and Food, and they've got a sustainability policy with their packaging, interestingly enough. It's all the sort of, they are one of the largest soft drink suppliers in the UK. So it's the brands that we've sort of known for years, things like Ribena, of course, with all the connections locally, Orangina, Lucasade Energy, Lucasade Sport, and located in the heart of the Forest of Dean in Colford. Good morning to you.
Hi, morning, Anna.
That is a balancing act, isn't it, for you as a business, when on the one hand you want more and more people to be using and having your product, and at the other end you've got to start thinking or continue and increase your thinking about the environment and recycling and how to do that for the best way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Anna. And, you know, I think Sid made a brilliant point earlier about, you know, we shouldn't be thinking in terms of, you know, plastic and cans as waste. You know, you drink your drink, and then the mindset, you know, currently is I'll just put it in a bin, when actually the mindset should be, well, this is a really valuable material. It's plastic, it can be reused again and again and again. So this is why it's so important. We want to encourage people to recycle. So then therefore you're not generating any more plastic, you're just reusing what we've already got. So we need to change people's mindsets of it's not waste, it's a reusable, valuable resource. And by encouraging people to bring it back to us through these really cool recycle and reward machines, or eventually through the government's deposit return systems that will be coming in the next few years, that's where we're going to have a significant change. And suddenly there won't be a need for anyone to discard, you know, containers that they're using, because they'll all be collected and reused. That's the end goal.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the vast majority of people, you don't need to sort of try and persuade them for this, don't you? I mean, you know, you've only got to look at all the youngsters in the family who'll be straight on you, mum and dad, to say, don't put that in there, that goes in this one. You know, they're on it, they know it. And so the generation coming up, I think, are totally on board. But the concern is also for the big businesses, isn't it? They've got to want to do it and to put their money where their mouth is. You know, how much of that is about putting the business side of things in place, thinking, okay, we have to invest in making this as environmentally friendly as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Every business has a crucial role to play. First of all, we should only be using any packaging that's absolutely necessary. So no excess packaging. Anything that we do make, we have to make sure it's designed for what we call circularity. It can be used again and again and again. So everything we make has got to be recyclable. We've got to minimize the amount that we're using as well. And as I said, cut out anything that's not necessary. So you're only using absolutely what you need. So that's why on a product like Ribena, which, as you know, is made up in the Colford factory, you know, we've removed a huge amount of plastic from that product. We've made the different bottle shape. We've removed a full sleeve. So now it's just a very small label. And we've really stripped out as much as we can, so people just get, you know, the minimum amount of packaging, but still get the great taste inside. So you're still meeting all those health and safety requirements, etc. But absolutely, the partnerships between business, the local council, national government, and the role that people at home can play is absolutely vital. So this is why I love this program with Love Your Forest. You know, it's working hand in hand with, you know, the local litter pickers from the Forest of Foresters, their council with SID, the recycling and collection teams as well. We've all come together to put these brilliant partnerships in place. And I think, we're showing what collaboration can make a huge difference locally. And this is what we want to see on a national scale.
Yeah. Hang on there, guys, if you will. We'll come back. We'll talk some more in a moment.
Anna King, BBC, Radio Gloucestershire.